Alright, pop pickers, welcome to Vicious Vinyl, where we talk about everything that bangs, clangs and twangs. And today we're talking about compilations. It's the first of two parts, I imagine. A lot to get through. So, you know, why compilations being super important, especially in the 70s and 80s, as our gateway into music. And quite often the first thing you got was an advertised on TV one. Mine was, it's this one. Axe Attack. Love this record, still love this record to this day. Advertised on TV, metal sort of thing, not even the heaviest of metal really, but you know, you got AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden is on here. Demo of Running Free, if you get the earliest ones. Great record, and still love it and most of the artists on it to this day. And the second one I got was also TV advertised. It was this one, Street Level. 20 new wave hits. That's how I discovered punk, sort of. I knew it existed, but this is, you know, that's how I got into some of it. Stranglers on Ronco. That one was on KTEL. Everybody remembers those. Yeah, all good stuff. That's how we get into this stuff, isn't it? For garage rock or garage rock, if you like, if you're American, it's the road is a bit more rocky because. During the 60s, American kids were obsessed with the British invasion bands like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and Herman's Hermits and all this stuff that was coming over. That they were so inspired, they all jumped into their massive garages, because they've all got massive garages, and banged away. And then they went out and they put out these records on these small state labels or even city labels, where they would, you know, eventually just disappear into the ether until Lenny Kaye came along and he said, I love some of this stuff. Why can't people listen to this stuff? And he compiled a whole bunch of it through Elektra Records, I believe. I think it was. He compiled the very famous compilation known as Nuggets. This is a 50th anniversary reissue. I don't actually own the original, but this is Nuggets. And on here we were introduced to things like the Electric Prunes, I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night, or Dirty Water by the Standells, or, you know, Pushing Too Hard by the Seeds, Psychotic Reaction by the Count 5. All amazing stuff that we loved. And it set off a bit of a chain reaction, and eventually there were compilations of this stuff everywhere because it's a gold mine, they're everywhere. And there's a whole bunch of series that you can buy. I can't buy them all. I can't afford them. But I've got a couple here. The first one that I really like the series is Pebbles. This is Pebbles Volume 1, a bootleg album released in Australia with just a cardboard sleeve and a stick-on information about the bands and a white label, black vinyl press. This is an original copy, and it's brilliant. Yeah, it's raw, garagey stuff. I think the Nuggets one, everything still sounded good. You know, I think this is where we start getting into the, well, it don't sound really, it's quite lo-fi, a lot of it. But Action Woman by The Litter is on here. That's the first time I realised that wasn't a Tall Boys original, was probably listening to this. And a whole bunch of other good stuff. Pebbles then was so successful with that they went on to do Pebbles Volume 2, this time on BFD Records, sort of an official release, if you like, but I doubt they paid anybody their publishing. Pebbles Volume 2, to me, is a beautiful record. The lyrics are on here again. Bobby Fuller is on here. Moving Sidewalks, which is actually Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top's first band, on here. All really good, but the best thing on here is Making Deals by the Satans. That's a great track. Also the Satans, what a name. Yeah, they're on here, brilliant. Now then they went off and did a whole bunch more. I think that there's 6 and then it goes up to 13 now. I haven't got them all. You can't get them all. What you can get though, still quite reasonable on Discogs, probably about 60 quid, is Pebbles Box. There it is, there's the Pebbles Box, which is 5 albums, the first 5 Pebbles albums, all in one little box, all on coloured vinyl, with full annotations about each band. It opens up there you go. That's Pebbles Volume 1. Pebbles Volume 1 is orange. They're all different colours. They all look really good. I mean, they're obviously boots, but who cares? There they are. All right. Bootlegs of bootlegs of bootlegs. Really good. Although weirdly, track listings are slightly different, and for some reason, Making Deals by the Satans, it's not on here. I ain't seen it anywhere else except on that original copy. Still a good box set, good investment if you want to listen to some of this proper 60s stuff. Of course, there were others. Another one of my favourites, slightly later coming out, is Crypt Records Garage Punk Unknowns. I love this. I've had a lot of inspiration from this record. It's very poorly put together. It's just four black vinyl albums. No band information, at least not in my copy. No real stuff. Track listing on the back. Got some absolute banging songs on here. You could probably pick this up really cheap as well on Discogs. I haven't really checked, but you should try. Another one of my favourite sets with the Hipsville sets. I've got 3 of those. There were more. I believe I got these in Intoxica in Portobello. Don't know if I did. Hipsville Volume 2, Hipsville Volume 3. What I like about these is, like Pebbles, they do a proper full-on dive into each band. But there's also on one of these, yes, Volume 3, the amazing Danny's Reasons, Little Diane. Worth buying this record or any other compilation that it's on to get Danny and the Reasons, Little Diane. Just absolute brilliant song. Band names on here include the Hangmen of Fairfield County and my personal favourite, Beaver and the Trappers. Yeah, definitely if you can find any of these, pick them up. I don't know how many more there were. They also did them by region or by city. So one of the first ones I got of those was this one, Texas Punk Groups. I don't know when it came out. It's old. I think I bought this in Penny Lane in Chester. Got an amazing version of Smokestack Lightning by the Outcasts on that. Also, Friday at the Handout, which is a very much later press, which is about Detroit and has the amazing Susie Quattro and her band, The Pleasure Seekers. What a Way to Die is on that. Brilliant. Later compilations included the Teenage Shutdown series, which is also really good. You've never heard of any of these bands, but who cares? They're brilliant. The Teenage Shutdown series do proper information on your bands. Nice. You find Teenage Shutdown really good. I obviously like a lot of the stuff on it, and particularly Del Shannon, Move It On Over. Don't get much better than that, kids. You need to listen to it. My mate Doug, the hairdresser from Memory Lane in Harrow, introduced me to the Wavy Gravy albums back in the late 80s. This is one of them. This is the first one, Wavy Gravy. These albums are indefinable unless you love the Cramps. If you love the Cramps, they make perfect sense. These are all 50s and 60s oddities, interspersed with trailers for B-movie horror movies. Just really good. The Juveniles, Bo Diddley on here, brilliant. Saxon's Dragging Around, brilliant. Eddie Noack's Psycho, brilliant. Wendell Johnston's LSD, they're really good. Quite hard to find now, quite expensive, but they did pop up on CD. And the second one, possibly even better, Four Hairy Policemen, Wavy Gravy's Volume 2, Four Hairy Policemen. This one is brilliant. Sebastian Peabody's Grave in the Desert. Also an amazing version of Purple Haze by a guy called Alt Take. Yeah, genius. Yes, and also Ding and Bat's Hearse on a Safari. Don't you know? Absolutely brilliant, these two. Thank you, Doug, forever, for introducing me to those. There are modern versions of these things that are coming out all the time. There's been a couple of massive CD box sets come out recently. Two of my favourites from recent years are this one, gritty 60s garage and punk, which is a really good album. Yeah, it's really good. It's very modern. Probably still get that for like 20 quid. And even so much as recently, 2025, I believe it was, you had Welcome to the Wilderness, one that looks like an old bootleg, lovely blue vinyl. Very nice record. Very good. Available, I believe, on Bandcamp. It's pretty much where did I get it on Bandcamp? I don't know, but really good. And some of them, stuff I hadn't heard. It's very rare these days. There's a lot of crossover. So yeah, you should get that. You should get those. That's the 60s garage scene blown out. And then of course, all the people who are listening to that formed their own bands. And so you had in the 80s this amazing explosion in the UK of garage and trash bands, some of whom I spoke about on the last video. Loads of compilations of those. A lot of stuff will cross over with part 2, but I want to talk about some of my favourite 80s compilations of 80s bands. Number 1 being These Cats Ain't Nothing But Trash, big beat compilation featuring only 3 bands: the Cannibals, the Stingrays and the Milkshakes. And it's a great record because all 3 of those bands, as I mentioned on a previous video, are awesome. Buy it. You can also pick up really cheap. There was it Cascade Records did a whole bunch of, I don't know, weird albums like this one. It's one of my personal faves. 20 great hits of the 60s, and you think, well, that must be 60s garage. No, it's 80s kids doing it themselves, yeah, including Nas Known with the Nightmares, with the Damned doing I Had Too Much to Dream last night, but also the Milkshakes, the Barbarians, the Banana Men, the Bishops with their version of I Want Candy, and I do not care what anybody says. The Bishops, or the Count Bishops version of I Want Candy is the best one ever made. Yeah, that's it. Fuck that, Bow Wow Wow. Yeah, Cannibals are on here, Stingrays are on here. This is a really good record. You get this for like 3 quid on Discogs. Amazing. Start there. 20 great hits of the 60s on Cascade Records. Also, Media Burn gave us Meltdown. This is a great compilation with all the weird stuff like the Wigs, Purple Things, X-Men. For some reason, the only way you could get the Tall Boys Last Night for years before they put it out on CD. So cheers for that, Nige. Yeah, Stingrays, absolutely banging. Great record. I'm probably just showing you what you've already got, haven't I? Big Beats Beach Party. Great record. Bit surfy, bit garagey. Got some of our favourite bands on it. Prisoners Melanie. Oh, it's worth buying just for that, man. Will you please come back to me? Restless are on here for some reason. Tall Boys, Stingrays, Turkey Bones and the Wild Dogs. They're all on here. Big Beats Beach Party. Another one you could buy for cheaps if you're interested in this kind of music and you just want to know. Also, All Night Garage Service. Cover by Antoine Bernhardt. Fans of the Meteors and the Tall Boys will know all about Antoine Bernhardt's artwork. And this is a great record. Weird record because it's got Eddie and the Operas on it. Wilco Johnson is on it, but also the Cannibals, the Cobras, Vulture Squadron, the Len Bright combo. Really, really good. Wilco Johnson's version of Woolly Bully, brilliant. And of course, Vulture Squadron's amazing Dig Your Own. Heads and Shoulders, Knees and Toes, but it's a fantastic song. That's on here. Also, Hang 11. Jesus. Hang 11, I've just nearly broken. I'm going to keep that in. Hang 11, there it is. It's a great weird album on Anagram. Got bands that I never heard of before and never heard of again. But really good. Yeah, Surfing Lungs, Who Stole the Summer. Stick shifts automobile. Barracudas are on here. Ah, brilliant. Yes, that's good. And then later on, we've had a glut of modern versions of these things. One notable one, I should say, is Flying Skull Records' Satan's Disease. Very recent. I love it, obviously, because it's got me on it and all my mates. But it's still really good. Kings of Hong Kong are on here. Space Wasters, we're on here. X-Ray Catrio are on here. The Earls of Satan are on here. All absolutely current. Palooka 5, The Amazing, Windermills. It's a really good album, actually. And for fans, this has Susan Lewis, English Vampire of old Amsterdam. And it's worth buying just for that track alone, I would say. Absolute brilliant thing. It's good to see Susan back. That's there. Also, special mention to Plundered Records, who do, I'm sure, the very massively unofficial Plundered series of albums. There are several. What we like about these is that they take a band like the Mummies, who we all love, and they go back and they say, well, what were they playing? What were their influences? What songs did they do? And then they compile them. There are two Mummies ones. There are 2 Stingrays ones, and they're absolutely fantastic. There's also the Vibes right there. They're absolutely fantastic. They are compilations of the original stuff that inspired those bands, and they are amazing. We're going to finish up this section, almost under 20 minutes, this video, with the daddy of them all. The one record that I would say every single person who calls themselves a psychobilly or psychobilly adjacent owns, or one of 2. The second one will be talked about in the next video. But to bridge the gap between video 1 and video 2, you could not find a better album than Rockabilly Psychosis and the Garage Disease on Big Beat Records. This was an eye opener for me, an ear opener for me when I heard it. I loved it. The cover got me anyway immediately. But then you get into it, and what I love about this record is it mixes the old with the then new. So you've got old stuff like The Phantoms Love Me, or Hazel Atkins She Said, or the legendary Stardust Cowboy. But then interspersed with that, you've got the new breed. You've got the new breed like the Meteors and the Cramps with Jimmy Dickinson, and the Panther Burns and the Gun Club. And that's why this album is an absolute Stone Cold classic. This album is probably the first time I heard the Sonics, the Sonics Psycho. As soon as I heard that record, I knew that band would stay with me until the day I die, and so far that has proven true. Also interesting on here is that you get a very rare, the only until Teenage from Outer Space album came out, vinyl appearance of the Meteors Mark II with Woody on drums. In fact, both versions of the Meteors, Mark 1 and 2, are on here. But this is the Guana Bats are on here. It's the first time I heard them. This album is fantastic. Still available for reasonable money. Pick it up anywhere. Been re-released a few times. It's on CD. The original was on pink vinyl or black vinyl. It's a fabulous record. So there we have it. That's a huge stack. Oh, there you go, of compilations of garage rock and roll. A thing that is very dear to my heart. And we have now bridged through Rockabilly Psychosis and the Garage Disease. We have now bridged into Psychobilly, which will be video 2. Until such time as I get around to making it, please like and subscribe and play the video for longer than 3 minutes. I don't know why I'm saying that at the 20-minute mark, because you won't have heard it. But I want to do more. I enjoy doing more. I'll probably do more even if no one watches. But like, subscribe, share, and let's keep talking about the music we love. Until then, Vicious Vinyl out. Adios.